Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is many a Truder, welcome to Power to the People, a game which... Okay, how to explain this? What's the best bit about city builders? It's the key infrastructure, isn't it? It's building a new power plant, laying out all those pylons, everybody's happy, everybody's got power. Ooh, there's one house over there that's red. Right, put down one extra pylon, and now everything is green. That is just pure dopamine right there. And that is what Power to the People is. It's a city builder where you're not building the city. Your job is to keep the lights on in a city that won't stop growing. So, welcome to Brighton, population 13, certainly a bit smaller than I remember it from the last time I visited, but what can you do, eh? And this game's got that wonderful quality to it, which is, it starts off nice and simple, but let's just say it's not gonna stay like that. Because this is Brighton, but the rest of the map is, it's pretty big. And this isn't for show. Yeah, things are gonna get bigger and more difficult to manage at some points. But for now though, we've got to make sure these 13 fussy plebs get their electricity. Now, there's all kinds of stuff I could actually build here, all different kinds of power plants, but you've got to keep an eye on what the situation locally is. Because I can't help but notice the wind speed is pretty high. We're right on the coast in the south of England. And tomorrow, it's gonna be even more. So, okay, as there is wind, and as we don't need a huge amount of power, a wind turbine could be just the thing. Doesn't cost that much money up front, and I don't have that much money as the game's only just started, so cheap to put up, cheap to maintain. If it's not windy that day, we've got a bit of a problem, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So we can't put that on the low ground, has to be up high, and if it's on uneven ground, it costs more money. So the red radius is what the game calls the NIMBY ring. No one likes having a power plant, no matter how clean, too nearby to their house. So keep it away from the town just for safety. But before I do, we've got to keep one thing in mind, which is power is a bit more realistic in this game than it might be otherwise, which is you can't just build a power plant, then connect it to a house with a wire. Because apparently toasters wouldn't like that, they like burn the bread or something. And I don't know whether this is realistic, but it sounds kind of realistic. Apparently, power plants produce high voltage, and that's got to be taken to a substation to convert it to a lower voltage. I don't know where all the leftover power goes, but somewhere, I guess. I don't really understand electricity, but apparently that's how it works. So, soon as I place this, time starts ticking along. You can't pause during the day. Every day, once a day at midnight, you can stop and have a think. But other than that, time will march relentlessly onwards. So, slap down this right here. Slap down a basic local substation right outside town, say over here. High voltage power lines to connect this to this. Low voltage power lines to connect the town to the substation. So that just goes along there. Then a bit more over here. We're paying for all of this, of course. Slap all of you down. Yep, everyone's got power. And straight away, the bastards have started asking for more power. Because, yes, power usage is not linear. In the middle of the night, no one's using much power. But when it's evening, everyone's watching TV. EastEnders just ended. Everyone needs a cup of tea. This is a real thing the British power grid has to deal with, by the way. But yes, lights go on in the evening, of course. So power is now trending upwards. But as we get to the middle of the night, it's going to go down. That is 12 hours ago versus 12 hours in the future. And now, the game is paused until I press play. So this is the moment to have a bit of a look-see as to what's going on. So wind turbines could produce up to 23 megawatts, currently producing 13. And we know that the town tomorrow is, well, predicted in 12 hours to max out somewhere around maybe 17 or thereabouts. But it's just going to keep growing. It's 11.5 now. That is not going to stay the case. Substations meanwhile have a pretty low capacity too. This can only handle 35 megawatts. So if the town goes beyond that, we're going to be needing more substations. And in particular, power lines can only carry so much. Low voltage at 30, the high voltage, that's way up to 100. So don't worry about those bastards for the time being. For now, it's all fine. But, and this is the crucial bit, by the way, you can check the load color-coded. And, yeah, that's me happy. If they go over capacity, it's not the end of the world. They can manage being slightly over capacity for a few hours. Too much for too long, they might catch fire, like, a little bit. It must be said. So for the time being, everything's fine. And if you're pretty confident that you can just handle this for a day, you can just say, you know what? Screw it. Skip me forward to the next day. I'm pretty sure we can now handle this. No trouble. You can stop doing that if you want to. But here we go. In 12 hours, power draw is going to be rising towards 20. Now, this might also be a function of, say, weather. If it's too warm or too cold, there might be reasons that power's going to start going up. So you've got to make sure you're ready for that to be a possibility. You've also got to make sure, of course, that you're ready for the possibility it's not going to be windy. So we've got to make sure we've got a bit of spare power just stored somewhere. So we got ourselves some lovely, lovely capacitors, or energy storage facilities, as they're called in this game. So it wouldn't hurt to have one of them ready to go. Just a basic lithium-ion battery farm lets us store 150 megawatt hours. So that would keep this town going, even at maximum capacity, for what? Maybe 7-8 hours. So we're just going to slap that down. So now we're going to hook that in right over here. Though right now, oh blimey. The tea time effect is currently active. Yes, everyone's using their kettles. It's time to get more going on right now, because this is not good enough. I'm going to put down a second wind turbine right next to the first. So we're currently filling that up. How is wind for the time being? Looking good at the moment. So time is now frozen. Now, this is all fine, but yes, indeed. Small problem. Eventually, no wind for an entire day. We're going to need to diversify power sooner or later. But we also have the advantage of research. So you get research points every day. You start off with a couple of basic techs, but here we go. So, wind turbines. 10% better and can operate even if wind speed is pretty low. Right now, they don't really operate under 8. Let's make them a little bit better. So, begin the next day, and honestly, now we just fast forward till the lithium-ion plant is full. And now that that's full, yes, indeed, we're actually A-OK. Capacity on this line is yellow, but not red. But then again, power consumption is not huge. Keep an eye on this line. We might need to build a second line at some point in order to, yes, not have the entire town going through this one low voltage power line, because otherwise that is going to cause problems. So I'm just going to speed up time till we hit more of a peak, and there we go. That's now at 25. Okay, we're paused at midnight. Time to redo this power line, because this city's just going to grow and grow and grow. So I am going to have a brand new line going over here. So the power that's needed in this bit of the city is now going to be going along this line instead. 3.4 versus 10.67. So maybe a quarter of the load is now being diverted over here. Now that doesn't sound great, but bear in mind, Brighton can only expand to the south for so long. Sooner or later, it's going to have to expand a bit inland. Now, when it does, that's going to work a bit better. The bigger problem is, in 32 hours, a brand new city's popping up. And I don't know where that's going to be. Come on, buddy. Where do you want to be? Alright, let's slow down timer here. Slow down time. We have got ourselves Bridport, which unfortunately decided to be right within the NIMBY zone of various power plants. Not my fault. Just build them a small, lovely thing right over here. Then get some nice power lines going to here. So get you to you. Get you hooked into the grid. They're going to expand up this road. We may as well get that down. So that's a lot of money that's just been spent. But how are we doing in general? We should be A-OK right there. Now, there is a bit of a stress on this thing. That's still at 20. Think about this here. Think about this. If I make this line carry the burden for the south of town, yeah, there's definitely a storm going on. It's fine. Let's just get to midnight here. If I make this line go along here, and this does all cost money, by the way. Yeah, round to here. And now what we do is we knock down some of this line right here. That's free to do, by the way. Demolishing your own stuff, no trouble. Now, as a result of that, that should lead to much more power being evenly distributed, because power will try and find the shortest route to where it's going. So Brighton should now operate more efficiently. Just keep an eye, by the way, on the power plants, because at some point they need maintenance. We've just got to be confident that when a power plant goes down, there's enough spare capacity in either other plants or in your storage facilities to cover the downtime. Still, 2 cities means population's now growing twice as fast, and sometimes we get up to, yes, a combined 42. But then again, more power being sold means more money being made. Okay, we're making enough money that maybe over the next day or two, oh, the problem's the wind. There is barely enough wind right now. Oh yeah, output is starting to go down due to the wind speed being not great. And oh bloody hell, we're coming up on tea time. Alright, battery farm, get me through the day. It is discharging right now, so we are going to be A-okay. And also, the wind turbines might potentially malfunction at some point. We need to perform maintenance. I might want to do that overnight, because, okay, this is fine, aside from the fact, okay, this place is now over capacity. It could potentially explode. If we're lucky, tea time ends before the substation goes kaboom. Okay, wind turbine needs to go down. I'd say as soon as we hit overnight and it's peaceful, we do wind turbine maintenance. So here we go. Power is now dropping. Please perform maintenance right now. Do I want to take this moment to do both? No, that'd be a bad decision, because then they'll be due at the same time next time. How's the wind, by the way? I'm guessing not great. Okay, just keep on keeping on. Oh, tomorrow's a disaster. Okay, so I think it's time to build something that's not wind power. Got it. Okay, gas power plant. Plenty of power, not even that annoying to the local residents. 70 grand. Okay, needs to be built on flat. We need to take out like 1 tree or something. Also needs to be nearby to water, because it needs water for power. Maybe cooling, I don't know. Basic substation. We're going to be wanting to get that set up over here as well. Honestly, may as well put that, yeah, right next to the power plant itself. So that is going to be fine right there. Down to 8,000. Good, 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 good. Link these 2 buildings together. And then we link this into the grid. So now, all of a sudden, there is a decent basic substation that is going to feed Brighton from this direction. So, immediately, what should happen is, oh yeah, look at that. Power generation goes bananas. Now, it's going to creep down because there's like no wind tomorrow or today or whatever, but it doesn't matter. We've now got enough gas power to cover everybody. Honestly, I'd say until the new city pops up in 4 days, we should now be A-okay. Even during the tea time spike, that barely even matters. We are A-okay. Aside from the fact that, why precisely is the battery farm discharging right now? It shouldn't need to discharge. These little stupid wind turbines, they're actually sending some power into Brighton. So, as a result of that, you, buddy, we're going to turn you off. So now there is going to be no power along here, but that means now all the power is going along here. So that change has meant that, yes, these places should be fine, because now the wind turbines are literally powering nothing but Bridport, because electricity is dumb. It just tries to take the shortest route it can. Okay, we might want to send a second line down to here. I'm so sorry. This is going to completely ruin the beach, but if we do that, there we go. Now the next big problem is, where's the next city going to be? There we go, precisely what I wanted to say. So alright lads, all we need to do is slap down, yeah, basic substation, just put it way out of the way. Then we just ship you over to here. Bit expensive, but it is fine. And yes, that place is now nice and easy. Super simple to take care of, and well, that was bloody inconvenient. That was a really bad first impression of the reliability of the power that we're going to be providing. Normally, it's really good. Also, oh, blimey. Okay. So, Brighton spiked to, like, 60. Oh, and we've got problems over here. There is... Right. Okay, let's focus on this for a second. Right now, yes, some of these wind turbines are doing almost nothing, because there's no bloody wind and there's not going to be either. Brighton, meanwhile, is now passing 50 megawatts during peak times, meaning one single substation is not enough. We need to split the power between two. Here we go. This will do up here. So we're just going to slap that down. And then what we're going to do is we are going to get rid of all of this. And that is now going to, yes, divide the north and south power pretty efficiently, I would say. That should be a-okay for the time being. Now, what do we do over here with Bridport and its useless wind grid that's just not going to do anything when there's no wind? I mean, I could run this power line all the way over here. That would be hugely expensive. Okay, well, it's cheaper than building a new power plant, so I guess we need to do it. Plus, if there are more cities that show up further inland, we can piggyback off that line. It's not a terrible investment. Right, let's see what this looks like, because all of a sudden, yes, the gas power plant is now needing a whole bunch more drawing from it. But part of that draw is going to be charge on the battery farm. And on top of that, now I built that, this battery farm can also now, discharge to provide bonuses to everything. Actually, in fact, you know what? For safety, connect all this together too. Because that way, now there is a single line between the lithium battery farm and every single substation. Now, I can if I want to upgrade any facility, but actually, to be honest, that's cheap. The problem is, yes, the NIMBY range does go up, so existing cities might not be... Oh, blimey, what is the problem there? What we need to do is carve out a bit of the north of the town that's being serviced by its own separate line. So if we get rid of, say, just you as a starting point, then all we need to do is have a brand new line up to here. There we go. That's now feeding all of that. Lovely. We now need to isolate large parts of the town. Like, say, here and here. Now what we do is we bring this power line over to here. Right? So that's now going in that direction. The town is clearly expanding over here. Roads give you a pretty clear indication as to where the next expansion is going to be. Okay, here we go. Here comes tea time, and we're okay. I say we're okay. The substation is starting to approach capacity. 10 more megawatts, that's going to be a problem. Gas station is fine. Now, we do have a lot of power passing through here. Not least as Bridport is apparently gaining some new exciting sexy buildings. So we might need to, at some point, yes, divert power around a bit to stop this being an issue. Slight problem though. Yes, so you can't build one type of power line through another. Meaning as Bridport expands, okay, you know what? They absolutely hate this battery farm right here. So this here is now going to be demolished. So I do get a refund though, that's nice. We can also get rid of you. We don't need any of this anymore. Excellent. We can now have a new line going in this direction. And now this should all work just fine. Just keep an eye on this. Honestly, that worked fine. I didn't see red over in Bridport. And yes, over here there is some very small local expansion. Just give them some more stuff. I need to... Oh, wind turbine needs to go down. Honestly, just do it now. In fact, honestly, both of you, just do it now. It's fine. Yeah, the gas plant can definitely pick up the slack while you guys are just being maintained. Now, the gas plant itself does need maintenance in the next 2 days, so we will do that overnight tomorrow. Gas power plant, it's time to do your maintenance. Get it done. So 3 hours, the battery farm can cover it. Step 2. This thing is doing literally bloody nothing right now, so we may as well just, yes, get rid of that for the time being. Just eliminate some of these lines that are redundant. You can go down too. Don't worry, we're gonna fix it. And a basic substation as opposed to a local one should do the job just fine. And we're gonna put that more down over here by the sea, where it should cause a less annoyance to local people. So, that is the new Bridport grid. Okay, here comes crunch time though, which is, yes, we need the... Oh, hang on. Hang on. Problems. We've got... Why are you guys not getting power? Everyone should broadly have power. We're discharging as fast as we can from the battery. Okay, the gas has now gone up again. We're fine. There was some very brief brownouts, but it just about held together. Yeah, I think the problem was there is a discharge rate that a battery farm can do. So telling the entire grid to be dependent on a battery farm, even if it's got the charger, you can't do that. There's going to be wibbles in supply. Okay, slight issue here. Brighton is continuing to get bigger and more problematic when it comes to power draw, particularly on the southern line. Okay, think this through here, John. The southern line in Brighton is using 17. Right now, the lowest capacity line is this middle one. Therefore, more stress must be put on that. We're going to put this right here. We're going to demolish this line right here. So now a new block has just been moved onto this line. More importantly, though, new city coming in 8 hours. Oh dear, they are well over there. Okay. You guys are going to need your own thing, aren't you? We could build a new power plant over here somewhere. For the time being, just hook them into the existing grid. We'll figure out a more permanent solution as time goes by. So just slap down a basic thing over to, say, here-ish. Then we'll just hook you into the basic system. But yeah, we want to put a new power plant somewhere around here. So we've got a backup in the grid. And also, basic substation near Brighton operating it. Yes, I can see. Okay, so basically we need to divide power with Brighton even more. That was a tea time spike. So that's not permanent, but it's going to become more of a problem as time goes by. Okay, pretty major rethink in Brighton, which is we've now got one small substation down south, which honestly doesn't cover much, and two much larger ones covering, yes, the northeast and the west. We have now got this old girl operating across Bridport and part of Brighton, but she is a large substation. She can control much more power. I think that's gonna be okay. Okay, here we go. Here comes tea time, and the problem is actually there's now... Yeah, I should have seen that one coming. There's now too much power being shipped off that line to actually... Okay. No. We can do a workaround. Hook this to here. It's all under control. We need a new source of power on this side of the world. So, the stress is off these lines. Alright, more power flowing into these lines to cover Bridport and Brighton West. Oh, and hello, sexy. Hydroelectric. Cheap, reliable, can only be placed in certain locations, but I've got those locations. Oh yeah, we're saving up for that, okay? If the town can just avoid collapsing for the next 6 or so days while we just save up, but honestly, keep an eye on this. That was very briefly red. I know how to fix that. All we need to do is provide a second line for these guys. because the wind turbines are also sending their power down this line. So if we just have a second line going to here, that should solve that no trouble. Here we go. And, oh yeah, oh flippin' yeah, that's what I want. Right, hook it in the grids. Although I see what's happened actually. What's going on at the moment is 0 power is being transmitted on this line that leads up here. So as a result of, okay, slight issues with some low power during tea time. There is now, okay, we need something new to serve, yes, Bridport. Bridport is looking dicey there. That could be something the dammer helps out with, because right now the dam is just not doing that much. Here we go. Brand new basic substation. Right now only covering the very edge of Bridport, but it will still take a lot of stress off these power lines. It'll do for now. Oh, and absolutely perfect. We have got ourselves a brand new city over there. Kind of passed me by. Sorry, you guys don't get power on day one. But, oh guys, you are in the perfect spots. Not only do you guys have power, you guys get power from the dam, which is slowly ramping up, which is just beautiful. Now, there is danger here, which is, yeah, the power line now goes all the way around here. So, if the dam breaks, then all of a sudden, yeah, a huge amount of power needs to be shipped around the circle power line. And that's going to be well over capacity. Don't worry, guys. Here you go. There's some power. We'll need to keep an eye on that, potentially. In fact, you know what? That gives me a genius idea. What if we were to have a single, giant, central facility of power storage capable of storing 750 megawatt hours right in the middle, so that every single town and power plant could contribute to or draw from it evenly. Behold the mighty cryogenic air plant. I don't know what that means, but it's a battery, basically. And there she is, right in the middle. The dam has moved up to capacity, as has... Actually, the gas hasn't. I think, yes, the dam could cover it for the time being. So, power is just being fed along this thing. We are going to fill her up with so much electricity. And whenever we have a new city further north, we can just hook it into this giant, beautiful, cryogenic air spider power grid, and it's going to be spectacular. I don't know why that person up there's sad, by the way. I mean, it's a park, it's got power, I really don't know what its problem is. Okay, time to test a new system, because the gas power plant is, wow, that's actually almost at capacity. So, yes, we're approaching just before tea time. Screw it. Kill it. Turn it off. Turn it off right now. Okay, that was hubris. That was hubris right there. But there is plenty of power capacity. We're draining this battery right now. We're draining this battery right now. It is discharging very fast. There's some slight brownouts, but there is the power. There's tiny amounts of unmet. Storage facilities tapering off. Power goes back on. But I just did it. I just shut down my main power production facility during tea time, and it didn't matter. It worked anyway. It turns out this entire network is genius. And so on and on and on it goes, because at this point, of course, you could say, okay, people are getting a bit annoyed, because what used to be out in the middle of nowhere is now getting nearby to the centre of town, so people aren't happy about that. At various points, you might want to completely demolish parts of your existing infrastructure to shuffle it further outside so people are less annoyed about all that business. You're going to be needing, yes, to rework the system to deal with more and more demand, more and more cities, a layout of cities that gets more and more complex. So this is just the beginning. Obviously, like I said, this is a big map, and it will fill up. This entire area could just be nothing but one megacity of districts that have grown together. And, oh, it's just... This is good. This here is an excellent Sunday afternoon rainy day game. I get it. It's not for everybody, but This works for me, and I suspect there's going to be people out there who didn't even get to the end of this video because they rushed off to buy it. Speaking of which, link in the description below. It's just a nice, chill, strategic puzzle data visualization thing that is exclusively about my favourite bit of city builders, and that's all I flippin' want. I like it when games take one thing and really focus down on them. It just creates some brilliant results. Long may it continue. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Power to the People. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
I've created a small problem in my road system, which is it's literally impossible for anyone to ever go back into town. And this building shall be where we produce our zebras. And this much taller building next door is naturally where we produce the giraffes. Does anyone remember how the road system went? I think it was something like this.